Hello, I'm so glad that you could join with me today. I'm going to pull some cards for the collective reading. I'm going to pull a series of cards here to talk about first, because I feel very strongly that we have a connection here for some individuals who may be looking for a specific message. First things first, your ambition and your passion and your desire to accomplish your goals in this very restricted timeline it's admirable, but I do think that it can also make us a little bit crazy. It can make us feel a little bit as though we're not doing enough, we're not doing it fast enough, we're running out of time, we want to do all these things at once, and then there's just this overwhelming push to prove yourself. Be like this, you're getting back to something that you were trying to accomplish before, and for whatever reason it didn't pan out, it didn't result in the desired effect. There were some things that weren't as easy as we thought that they would be, or maybe we headed in one direction or another, and those things didn't pan out. And so we're finding ourselves back here at the beginning of this cycle as well, repeating some of the feelings of urgency that initially got us started here. So it's a very important message for some individuals who are feeling as though they're behind, or they're trying to catch up, or they're trying to they've got to have it done in this timeline. And I think what you're finding is that there's people that don't quite understand your urgency. They don't quite understand why it's so important to you at this point to accomplish these goals. You have this huge vision. It's just difficult to explain to people how profound it is and how much you feel that can be accomplished with these achievements, and it's for the greater good. There's other people that you intend to help with this. You intend to take this to a completely different level. You're much more experienced, you're much more knowledgeable now, and so you're looking at this and you know what you're capable of, and there's no doubt about your ability to pull this through. All things come through in the order and timing that they are meant to. This isn't something that can purely be just you can't just jump ahead to where you were before and you were like, well, I had this established and I had this established and I could just use that. And you can't necessarily do that, and you know why. So it doesn't it almost feels like there's more work to do, because now you have to redo work that you had done. You have to start over, replan, reacquire the resources. There's just this intense burning passion that is just ignited under you, and it's absolutely propelling you forward. Now again, we're putting the pieces into place, but there's a really positive energy here that is very evident in what you're trying to accomplish. So I don't think there's any question about your success in this endeavor, but it does look a lot more based on an organized, well-paced, realistic plan. We're not looking at something that's just gonna boom, there it is, an explosion. We're not going viral and seeing these things just roll out in this miraculous way. That's just simply not how it goes. And we know that, but also we have this push. We have to do it, we have to do it, we have to get it done. So Spirit just wants us to take a step back, to take a few breaths, to put all the pieces in place. It's all happening in the perfect timing. You've got everything that you need. All the connections will be there exactly when they need to be. And we want to recognize this as a foundation, a strong, stable foundation that just won't be shaken. And then as you have tended to this foundation, and you've put all this experience and wisdom and practice into this foundation, you're then presenting a much more solid, grounded, realistic feasible plan that will come through with all of the things that you see for it. It does take a little bit of that time and patience. We're nurturing it, but also we want to stay open to listening. I feel like there's an elder male in our guides here, or maybe in our personal life, who has provided some guidance to us before. He's coming through here in this Emperor card really strongly, and he's saying, this you have to listen. You have to remember to listen to what other people have to say. You have to remember to feel your way through the answers here. So you're not going to be able to just make all of these decisions very quickly, and then it's going to suit all the needs. Some of this is going to be, I'm doing this because of this, I'm doing this because of this, and then I want to do this next step, I'm not sure how to do it. And if we step back, we ask some advice, we have some other input, what we're going to find is that those pieces just seem to fit better that way. They fall into place the way that they need to, in the timing that they need to do so. So we've got a lot of energy. It almost feels too intense. It's just gotta get it done. I want it all to fall into place, and Spirit saying, you're getting there, step by step, piece by piece. Let's remain grounded. Let's remain focused. Let's remain consistent. Let's not rush things. Let's just take our time, and so that we can be truly fulfilling in the ways that we want it to be. We want to take all these things into consideration when we're putting each piece into place, so that it can become that hallmark, that pillar of everything that you feel that it should be. So I pulled 3 here. We have Earth, flexibility, and breath of the cosmos. I feel like we just read that in the 4 cards that we just talked about. But just to elaborate, we're feeling that we finally have figured out our place and our purpose in all of this. It's not necessarily something that we knew how to do before, but we just always knew it was something we were supposed to be doing. So we had this just intense connection to this path, to this purpose, to this mission. And for some reason, there were all these detours and distractions that made things difficult. And so you've had to kind of spend some time getting back in touch with what it was that you were trying to accomplish in the first place, and why, and what didn't work, and what did work, and what can we take forward with us, and what can we learn from and grow from. Our flexibility is this reminder that we don't have to have all the answers, and we don't need to lay everything set in stone quite yet. There are going to be some differing opinions and some suggestions, and some of them are going to be very, very valuable, and you're going to take those in. I didn't consider it that way, but that is an excellent point. And some of them are going to be, thank you for your suggestion, but you're just going to know it wasn't meant for you. It might not be a bad idea, and it's important, I think, that we're really respectful of the input that we receive. We don't want to make people feel alienated or unappreciated for their encouragement and support, because that's really what it is. They're offering you advice and suggestions, and maybe they come from an experienced place, and maybe they don't. And that's not up for us to necessarily make that this distinguishment, but we can feel through it. We can take everything in. We can use that to help hone our ideas, and also improve upon them, and leave room for more improvement in the future. So we don't have to be so restricted and so limited in all these things. The breath of the cosmos, micromanaging the universe. So what I'm getting, again, I feel very strongly that the tarot and the oracle cards are pulling up the same energy. We have to recognize that there are just steps and pieces and things that are gonna be a little bit different this time around. The universe is trying to gift us with everything that we need, and all of the energy that we need, and the enthusiasm and the vigor. And if we become too set on or doing it exactly our way, or doing it in one particular way, we're not really allowing for all these opportunities to present themselves. it's not that you don't necessarily have to use every idea that's gifted to you or shared with you. It's that your consideration of those ideas and being open and just welcoming all of that energy in is allowing space and movement to continue through your process. And as we allow that, as we're trusting the process, the universe is saying, yeah, okay, so now you're ready to welcome these gifts. Because now you're not so set on it being your way. You're not so set on it looking exactly the way you intended it to look. Giving a little bit more creative freedom to the process and welcoming in all this input is just helping you hone this into an even stronger, more capable, more enduring vision. So this is all to the benefit, and we don't want to try to lock every detail in some way where we feel as though we're not actually using all the skills and the practice that we've had and all the beautiful energy and resources that's coming our way. So again, 3 more cards, just confirming the message here, just in case you didn't get it in the first 2 videos. Part 1, same message. Part 2, same message. Isn't it funny when we pull cards that you can pull them as many times as you want. The message will come through as many times as you need to hear it. So we're going with the flow. We're not managing the universe. We're not getting too caught up in the details. We're letting the pieces come to us and fall into place. Cleansing and receiving. Organize, plan, do the things that are necessary preparation without feeling the need to lock every detail in quite yet. This is all just about the readiness to push forward. All the planning and the organizing and the cleaning is all a part of the process that's just as valuable as the final product. This is the part where we're bringing in the largest amount of potential. This is where the resources start flowing. This is where the energy gets wound up so it can kick off. It's not a time to hyper control every detail. We don't need to lock everything in stone. We might change our mind on things. We might feel as though there's an opportunity for things to change down the road. Even though we feel like we have it a pretty clear vision of what it is that we're trying to accomplish, there's still a lot of things that we don't quite know how we want to do it or exactly what it's going to look like in the end. There are some things here that we're still trying to hold on to that will not serve us in the future. So I'm getting, for some of you, we are holding on to some old ideas and expectations of how it should look. There's some individuals who are still in your energy, that are still watching and waiting to see. They'll have an opinion only when it suits them. But do we really need them there? Do we really need to keep that watcher status around? Is that necessary? Does it benefit you in any way? Or is it one of those things where it's like, they would probably only notice that I wasn't around if I didn't have something going wrong, or as soon as you feel like you're succeeding and then you have like one off day, all of a sudden there they are. I can definitely feel in my energy there's some people that just feel like I'm not deserving of what it is that I'm doing. I'm not deserving of this position. I'm not deserving of this success. And I don't know by what definition they're applying this, but I can feel it. I can feel the energy that they just I don't know what they were expecting, but I just really don't feel like they're in any place to feel that way. And they're trying to hide these feelings. They're masking them. It looks like something else. It's very fake, superficial support. They'll like the post, but they'll never actually share it and say anything nice about you. They're not going to actually like refer people to you, even though they'll be like, yeah. Really, they're like, why not me? Why not me? Why not me? time to, if we can't let these people go entirely, if we can't let these situations go entirely that are these lesser energies circling around, then we need to make sure that we don't care at all what they think about what we're doing. We need to continue doing what you're doing and doing it the way that you know it feels right for you. And then our final one is our soul radiance, the phoenix rising. I said in the last 2 videos with all those cards, this is about starting that cycle over. This is not brand new to you. You've already tried this ride before. You were in line, you had your ticket, and you got up to the gate, and maybe you got halfway up on the Ferris wheel and broke down. Whatever happened, it didn't fully come to fruition the way that we thought it was supposed to. Like, it felt like it was supposed to. Everything was in alignment for that, and something just didn't click. That's completely irrelevant now. I mean, I don't want to say it's irrelevant, though, because it is relevant. It's relevant in that you already have that experience. You already know. And not only that, but if you get to this point where you feel like the energy is stagnating, or it feels off course or something, you're not going to hesitate to put the brakes on, to wait for the next round. You know that your time is coming. You know that everything's transpiring the way it's supposed to. This is your opportunity to be reborn, and you'll continue to cycle back and be reborn and continue. And each time you become more vibrant and more durable and more everlasting, all in all of the ways that you seek. So this isn't ever going to be something that you can really truly walk away from. It's just something that you've always had in your mind, and maybe some of your attempts in the past weren't fully capable of coming to fruition. But this is the message from Spirit today, is that these things are happening. They are happening in divine timing. And because you learn these lessons and you've learned to receive, and you're understanding that we can't micromanage the energy, and we can't control every detail, and we don't need to have every piece in place just perfect. We need to be more open and flexible, that you're actually opening up that possibility to truly accomplish what it is that you anticipated, and everything that you hoped it would be. So there's so much more potential here, just simply because you've been able to pull back and apply the lessons from the universe and understand what being open and receiving and being patient, and just doing the work consistently without expectation, and taking in all these perspectives and this willingness to learn and grow and not give up, but also not to settle. So there's a tremendous amount of power behind your goals and everything that you are setting forth to do in the new year. You're kind of getting things in place right now, and everything's going to be absolutely incredible, and you're going to feel like a brand new person. It's the same you, but the 2.0 or the 3.0 version, whichever one it is. I think I'm maybe like a 3.0 now, 4.0. I don't think we're 2.0 version. I think we've cycled back a few too many times to call it that. But whatever round you're on, this is the one that feels really good, and there's a lot to be gained from this. Thank you so much for joining with me today.